So you can introduce yourself? You can introduce yourself, who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Volker Fischer. I'm the design curator of the Museum of Arts and Crafts in Frankfurt, and also a professor of design on a specialized school for design.
In Frankfurt?
In Offenbach, the neighborhood, the neighbor city. It's a college of design.
So, as you see, as you understood what we are doing, our idea, because we are working for Rinascente, Rinascente told us if we wanted to have a window to do something, and instead of doing installation, we decided to have a place to discuss with the city.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. In a way, shopping is culture in the meantime, but to have another form of culture, interviews in a window, and to see all the people outside, in a way, all the people outside are the design of the city.
Yeah, very interesting point of view. And so, and what's happening, we are very happy because there are the most incredible variety of people. And many times designers were closing their offices and they don't touch the pulse of the reality in a way. So we believe very much that reality is helping to understand what you can think about if they are.
So you always have to have your head in the clouds, but the feet on the ground.
That's very nice. I'm sorry about that. And so, just what we want to ask you, of course, they are very basic questions. The first is, what is design for you?
Well, I mean, a very famous man who was a former chief of IBM has on his desk only one information for all his many, many visitors. Just a small information surprised me. And that's, for me, it's the main thing for design. In more than 30 years, I see thousands and thousands, more than 10, 20, 30,000 objects of design, and still the pieces are able to surprise me, and it's really wonderful.
I think it's a very beautiful answer. But in these things that you have seen, there is something that if you think of design, there is a special piece that, or a group of pieces of some designer that is in your mind as something that is an example of what is design for you?
I mean, for this, it came in mind this small piece of Philipp Stark for the juice.
The squeezer.
The squeezer, the squeezer. Nearly more than half of all the people, and even more than half of all the people who buy this piece say, well, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. But they buy it to have it in their
shelf.
In the shelf as a small sculpture. And if it works as a small sculpture, this is also a kind of function. So
because
it hasn't to work.
The decorative object of the house.
Yeah.
So you have no moralistic feeling about the fact that it's not used, I mean.
No, not at all. Because as I said, if it works as a small mini sculpture, it's a kind of function.
Perfect. And there is something that there is not that you'd like to see, you'd like to imagine to exist that doesn't exist?
Of course,
before the IBM man, what is hoping that is going to be surprised from what?
Well, I mean, sometimes there are objects where you think, well, the world really don't need those objects. So, for example, I see in a mail order catalog a very, very old-fashioned thing from an old telephone. Well, you know, from here to here, really an old thing, like a bone.
Yeah, like a bone.
And you have the cable, and that's all. You have the bone and the cable, and you can do it on your very, very small mobile phone.
Yeah.
And you have it here.
Yeah.
Just as a kind of nostalgia. Yeah. So I say, of course, I mean, it's a funny object, but nobody really need it.
Fantastic. About Milano, what's your perception of Milano? You know, I love very much Germany. I love very much the German city. I consider.
I mean, thank you for the compliment. I give it back. I love very much Milano. I mean, still and for a long time, it's a world capital of product design and even of fashion. And so it's very dense. It's very quick. And you in between some days you get a lot of very different impressions, much enough to think it over for a whole year until I come back the next time.
Well, the problem is that you always come when there is the design week. If you don't come during the design week, maybe it's a different city, you know.
Yeah, well. I mean, in the evening I sit in my hotel having those very big leaflet with hundreds and hundreds of events, and I choose it for one evening. Maybe you can do 3, 4, 5, beginning at 6 o'clock in the evening, then you meet some friends, have a drink, have more drinks, and you stay on one place. So if you manage to have an evening with 3 or 4 events, it's enough.
Fantastic. So thank you very much.
Thank you.